Hello, dear students and friends. I hope you are doing well. So, for today's lesson, we will focus a new subject, which is present simple. So, in this lesson, you will learn how to use present simple in your daily life and when you have to use present simple. Please don't forget to like this video and share it to your friends. So, let's start. So, as it mentioned, as it described on the book, first we use present simple to talk about things in general. We use it to say that something happens all the time or repeatedly, or that something is true in general. So, we use the present simple to talk about these things that we do in our daily life. And we use present simple to say the science facts, and we use present simple for our daily works, for our daily jobs. So this is about using present simple. Present simple is one of the most important forms for speaking, and you need more than other forms to speaking in your daily life, and present simple is easier than the other forms, and this is I believe that this is the simplest subject and subject form to use in your daily life. So let's start to the rule of using present simple. Forms of present simple. In affirmative, it means in positive form. We have two forms. The first one, for these subjects like you, they, we, plural noun, and for I. If we have one of these subjects in the sentence, so then directly we add a verb, the base verb, then you complete your sentence. This is the rule of these subjects: you, they, we, plural noun, or I subject, then directly you add the verb. So let's see these examples. For example, we have you subject, then we add the verb, the base of verb without anything, then we completed our sentences. For they, as you see, they, then we add teach. For example, you can use other words, other verbs, no problem. I use these verbs because this is this is simple verbs. We directly we added the base verb. We like the Olympic Games. The Olympic Games, as you see, we have games, and this is the plural noun. Then we added take. So then we completed our sentence. This is all about these subjects. So another form of affirmative in a positive form of present simple, which is about these subjects. So if we have he or she or it or a singular noun, we add our verb, but we just added s to our verb. But adding this verb, it changed in some irregular verbs, and I will explain in this video how to add this s. But first, let's see these examples. For example, we have he, not get. He gets up. So we just add this s. This s called third person singular. This s we add it to the verb when we have these subjects in present simple. As you see, he gets up. For example, for she, you cannot say she work hard. You have to say she works hard. Works, this is. It goes very fast. It, because we have it, we added third person singular s. This one, you say it goes very fast. And we have this noun. I mean, this is a noun person, no problem if it's a noun of, I mean, it's a human noun or non-human noun. Bahar reads a book. You cannot say Bahar read. We have to say Bahar reads a book. This is two forms of present simple in affirmative, I mean in a positive form. So let's see the book. Let's see some examples in the book. For example, as you see on here, nurses, because we have nurses, I mean this is a plural noun, we will not say nurses looks, we will say nurses look. Why? Because we have nurses. This is a plural noun. I usually go. So sometimes some verbs added between the subject and the verb, no problem, because these words, I mean the meaning of this verb is like something that repeatedly, for example, usually, often, these words like that added between here, no problem if you have this case. You say I usually go. You will not say I usually goes. Why? Because we have I subject. The earth goes around the sun. We add this es. Why es? So I will explain in the next slide how to add this third person singular, because this is one of the irregular verbs. The earth, because this is a singular noun, we will add our s to our verb. The cafe opens. You cannot say the cafe open. We have to say the cafe opens. Why? Because the cafe is a singular noun. So let's scroll down. So about adding this s, let's see this slide to how to add s. Then we will learn the interrogative and the negative form of present simple. How to add s to the verbs. How to add third as singular. I'm sorry about that one. Okay. I'm sorry about that trouble. How to add this third person singular s. Usually you can add s to the verbs, but sometimes you cannot add it directly. Let's so see these verbs. We have, for example, work. We just added s without anything. Drive, we will just add s. And for open, the same. We will say opens. But if we have these letters in the end of the irregular verbs, the case will change. So if we have double s, x, ch, sh, double z, and o in the end of your verb, we added es, like this verb. For example, if we have these letters in the end of our verb, we will not add s only, we will add es. So see this verb, for example, we have kiss, so we will not say kiss, we cannot say, for example, 3s. So let's see this one. If you see this one, we will add es, not s only. See this one, mix, we added esy because in the end we have x, like this one. And for kiss we have double s in the end. Watch, because we have ch, we will we added es. And for wash, the same, and for double z and for all the same. For example, we have go, because go ends with o letter, so we will say goes, G-O-E-S, not G-O-S. You saw in the book. So if the verb ends in a consonant plus y, so consonant, it means it's not a vowel. Consonant plus y, we change the y to I, then we added es, not s. So see these examples. We have what? Study. If you see, D is a consonant, so then we have y. So by the rule, if we have consonant plus y, we will change the y to what? To I. Then we will add es. So the word, it would be studies, like this one. As you see, the y changed to ies. Try. So try, because we have r before the y. So r is a consonant, so then we have y. So the word, it would be like that, because we remove the y, and then we will add ies. So another one, if the verb ends in a vowel plus y, it means not a consonant, we just add s. For example, we have play. If you see a, it's a vowel, so we will not remove this y and change it to y. We will just add s, like this one. So for example, if you have I, O, U, A, this is a vowel, so we will just, plus y, we will just add s. This is about adding third person singular s to the verbs. This is totally easy. So let's back to our business in the book. So we have another form, which is about the negative form of present simple, and the last one is about interrogative, the question form. So let's back to the previous slides. So let me just make it full screen. Okay. So this was that you saw it. It's about affirmative, about positive form. So in negative form, something has different, like the previous one. In negative, we will just, like the present continuous, we will not just add not after is So the things in here changed. In positive form, we will say, for example, the subject, then directly a verb, and if we have he, she, it, a singular noun, we will just add s to our verb. But if we want to say in a negative form, we will add this to one of this one. So it changed by the subject. In negative form, add do not or does not before the base verb. So let's see. Like the previous one, if you have you, or they, or we, or plural noun, or I, then you will add do not. Or sometimes it writes like this, don't, in a short form. Then we will add our base verb. First, let's see this example. For example, I don't eat sugar. For example, if it's a positive form, you'll say I eat sugar. But because this is a negative form, you'll say I do not, or you can say I don't eat sugar. For example, we have what? Your brothers, because your brothers is a plural noun. Your brothers what? Don't teach you. Why don't? Because it's a negative form of present simple, and because this is a plural noun, we will add don't. This is about these subjects. If we have these subjects like he, she, it, or singular noun, we will just add does not, or we can say doesn't, like this one. Then we will add base verb. So one thing is different. If we have this subject, we will just add what? Do not. But if we have these subjects, he, she, it, or singular noun, we will add doesn't, does not don't. For example, you cannot say he don't or she don't. Or in here, you cannot say you doesn't or they doesn't. You have to say, for example, you don't and they don't, and he doesn't or she doesn't. Then we will just add the base verb. Then we complete our sentence. See this one. He does not come with us. He doesn't come with us. You cannot say, for example, he don't come with us. Why? Because we have he, and it's a negative form. You'll say he does not come with us. And for she, the same. She doesn't do anything. And for it and for the singular noun, this is the same rule. Let's see the book. What we have about this one. This is about the interrogative form. For example, so see this rule. This is the rule of the negative form. If you have I, we, you, they, you will just add don't and then the base verb. If we have she, he, she, it, we will add does not. Then we will add our base verb. See these examples. I don't go. For example, rice is a singular noun. You'll say rice doesn't grow in cold climates. So sometime we have do. Is also the main verb. For example, you'll say do you do, or you can say doesn't do. So do in here, this is the main verb, no problem. For example, the same like we have, for example, we have drive, or maybe we have do. So this do is different than this do, for example. This do is different than this do. So after we studied the interrogative form, you'll learn this one. Hope you're not confused about that. For example, let's see this example. What do you do? So this do, this one is a verb, And this one, what do you do? It's about that one that you want to use it in an interrogative form. So this one, he does not do. This is the verb. For example, no problem if you have, for example, go. He doesn't go. I mean, if you not have this complete, you can say he doesn't go. No problem. You can say he doesn't do. It's the verb like go, like, for example, drive, like, work. So this is about the question form, negative form. So let's see how to make questions in present simple. So this is easy. In interrogative, the question form, we will add do and does, not don't and doesn't. Why? Because it's about question form. So if we add don't or doesn't, this is the negative form. Before the subject. So it means these two words comes to the precede of the sentence. So, for example, sometimes we have WH questions before this one, no problem. So the main important thing is just to add this one before these subjects. No problem. If you have, for example, what do you do? For example, when do you go? No problem. Sometimes one of the WH questions comes before this one, and for this one the same. In negative form, we will say you do not. So just swap the places of you and don't, and change don't to do, like this one. Do you. Then you add your verb, the base verb. For example, do you work? For example, do you drive? Do you study? And for these subjects, the same. For example, do they go? Do we play? So, for example, do I talk? And for the plural noun, the city, the same. But one thing is very important. Please don't forget this question mark, because it's and do not set full stop in the end of your sentence, because it's about question form. Be careful about adding this one. So do for these subjects like you, they, we, I, and a plural noun. So we have what does for these subjects, he, she, it, or singular noun. Then you will add your base verb, and then after you complete your sentence, set your question mark. For example, you can say, does he play? Does she want to come with us? Does it go? So when you're speaking, you can say it, you can say this to one, does and he. In short, you can say does he, or you can say does she. And sometimes it would be does it, not does it. You can say does it. This is about your pronunciation. See these examples? For example, does he come with us? This question mark. You cannot say, for example, do he, or you can say, for example, does I. Why? Because does is for he and do is for I, subject. You can say, what does he come? So one of the mistakes if you can do, for example, you say we have he in her, and then I will add third person singular s to her. But you cannot do that. Why? Because it's about the question form, and in question form you will not, in the negative form, the same. You will not add s after your verb. Why? Because it's about negative or a question of an interrogative form. We will just add s to the verbs if we have affirmative, positive form, and for some subjects like he, she, it, or a singular noun. This example, does she do anything? For this do, you see that this do is a main verb, and it's not this do, it's not this do. They are different. Does she do anything? So for that one, do I eat sugar? And we set question mark. Do your brothers teach you? Why do? Because we have your brothers. And if, for example, if we remove this s, for example, you say your brother. So your brother, it would be a singular. So then we will not say do your brother. We will say does your brother, like this one. If be careful about singular or plural nouns in the exams and for your daily speaking. So let's see what we have. Another form. So this was all about the forms. We will have three forms: affirmative and negative and question form. Let's back to the book. For example, you see that one. For example, see this example. This is the question form. So we said that we have to add your do and does. Then you have to have your subject, then the verb. But we said that sometimes a WH question, like for example what, when, where, comes before this one. No problem, because it's about question form. We have that cases. For example, when does he go? Or we can say where does he go? What does he, for example, what does this word mean? In the following examples, we studied that one. Do is also the main verb. We say that this do, it's not like this do. This is about your form of question in present simple, and this one the verb. Do not confuse these verbs. These two words. So let's move to D. We use the present simple to say how often we do things. For our daily life, we do some routine things in our daily life. So the simplest way to say that things, it's using present simple. For example, you say, I get up at 8 o'clock when every morning. So every morning, it's your daily routine. So you have to use present simple form to say that one. So how is one of the WH questions. How often do you go to the dentist? This is one of the things that we do in life. For example, you can say, how often do you go to the dentist? July doesn't drink tea very often. So by the way, we have these words on present simple. For example, every and often, and this one often. For example, 2 or 3 times a year. We have these words. Robert, and also we have usually, for example. Robert usually goes. Why goes? Because Robert is singular. Robert usually goes away 2 or 3 times a year. And we have some verbs that always we say in a present simple form. Sometimes we do things by saying something. For example, when you promise to do something, you can say, I promise. When you want to suggest for someone or something for someone, you can say, I suggest, like this one. And all these all these saying, you can say in a present simple form. For example, I promise I won't be late. You cannot say, for example, I am promising. You cannot use it in a present continuous form. You have to use it in a present simple form. For example, you say, what do you suggest I do? You can say, for example, I suggest that you have to, for example, if you have a headache, I suggest that you have to go to the doctor. So in the same way, we say, I apologize. For example, if you do something wrong, you will say, I apologize for these things that I did. So I advise you. You can say, I insist, I agree, I refuse, etc. We use these verbs in a present simple form. So be careful about these words. So this was all about present simple. Present simple. So as I said in the first of the video, this is present simple, the simplest form of speaking. But be careful about some notes that we discussed and as I taught you. For example, about adding s and about the forms of present simple. I reached the end of the video, so I hope you got important things in this video. So please don't forget to like this video and share with your friends. Have a good time. Goodbye.